If you're under 30 and living in Ottawa, you've probably asked yourself, will I ever be able to buy a home here? And right now, it feels impossible. Home prices are up, interest rates are high, rent is relentless, and saving feels like a losing game. But here's the part that doesn't make the headlines. There's a smarter way forward. And in this video, I'm not just breaking down the challenges, I'm walking you through a real-world example of how first-time home buyers here in Ottawa are actually making it work right now. You'll see the programs, the math, and the step-by-step program I'd recommend if you want to stop renting and start building equity sooner than you think. So let's dive in. All right, as usual, let's start with the facts. Right now in Ottawa, the average home price is roughly $630,000. That's nearly 9 times the average income for Ontarians aged between 25 and 34 years old. It's no wonder that so many people feel priced out. Inflation is cutting into their savings. Rent keeps rising every single year, higher than the last. And wages? Well, they're barely moving. Add in the mortgage stress test, and buyers today have to prove that they can afford rates even higher than what's available. It's a system that feels stacked against young people, even those with stable jobs and good financial habits. Zoom into Ottawa's real estate market, and here's what you'll see. Detached homes are now averaging roughly around $800,000. Condos, on the other hand, which used to be the go-to entry point, are sitting around $400,000. So let's break that down a little bit. You buy the average condo, you need a minimum of about $20,000, which is about 5% down, and another $5,000 for closing costs. So you're looking at roughly $25,000. That's just to get in the front door. For a single family home, you'll likely need $70,000 down or even more up front. And with interest rates still relatively high, every dollar you borrow costs more than it did just a few years ago. So no wonder so many people are feeling stuck, even when they're doing everything right. So be honest with yourself. Have you ever thought, every year I save more, but I feel further behind? Or, by the time I can afford a down payment, prices will have jumped again. Or even better, maybe home ownership just isn't realistic for people like me. Well, if you've had these thoughts, you're not alone. I hear this daily from nurses and teachers and engineers, young entrepreneurs, smart, motivated people who are just trying to make it work here in Ottawa. And the good news? Well, it can work. There are strategies, tools, and real programs that people aren't using just because they don't know about them. And I'm going to show you exactly what those are and how to apply them into your situation. And I'll even give you a couple of product examples. As we do the math, I'll visually show you what your dollar can buy, so stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about why this slowdown matters. There's been a noticeable dip in the condo sales here in Ottawa recently, and I've mentioned it numerous times on my channel before. And it's worth paying attention to. So what's really happening? First of all, the condo prices have softened. Second of all, the sales volumes are down. I've mentioned this again numerous times. And properties are sitting longer on the market. That doesn't mean a crash, it means leverage. With fewer buyers and slower sales, you're in a stronger negotiating position. Sellers might be willing to cover closing costs or some variation of closing costs, and you might have time to inspect and make smarter offers. The market is calming, but it's not collapsing. So this is a rare window of time where prices are a bit lower, competition is down, and if you move strategically, you can turn this shift into your advantage. All right, so here's the strategy that I would employ or that I would encourage my kids and my kids' friends to sort of consider. So let's talk about the tools that can help you break into the market sooner and smarter. Step number one, I've talked about it before, is you want to open up a first home savings account, an FHSA, and I've talked about it before. I'll put a link to a video down in the description. Basically, it's tax deductible money going into the program and it's tax-free money coming out of the program. You can put up to $8,000 per year for a total of $40,000. So if you're under 40 years of age and you're planning to buy, this should be opened up immediately. Step number two I'd consider is to use the RRSP home buyers plan and withdraw up to $35,000 tax-free. You'll have up to 15 years to pay it back interest-free. So leverage the program. Step number three is apply for the first-time home buyers incentive. This program shares up to 10% of the home's price with you with no monthly payments. Just pay it back when you sell your home, and it can lower your monthly mortgage significantly. Step number 4 is to claim the Ontario Land Transfer Tax rebate, up to $4,000 directly off your closing costs. Step number 5, use the first-time home buyer's tax credit and claim $750 after the purchase to help offset final costs. Step number 6, if needed, leverage CMHC's 5% down payment option. And yes, there's mortgage insurance, but it lets you buy sooner. When combined with the right programs, it actually really works. These aren't just check boxes, they're a foundation to a smart, modern homeownership strategy. All right, let's make up a hypothetical situation and let's use some real numbers here. So you're looking for a condo in Ottawa, which is good because condo market is slowing. You're going to have a lot of choice. The market is available to you, and you're working off a budget of about $400,000. So let's just use those parameters. So purchase price is $400,000. Your minimum down payment is $20,000, which is 5%. Closing cost of about $5,000. So your total upfront cost, $25,000. Now, saving $25,000 at $500 per month will take you roughly 4 years. But if you're using the FHSA and the RRSP combo, add in tax refunds and investment growth, and that timeline shrinks by thousands of dollars and potentially a full year of time. And monthly cost based on 4.5% interest, well, the mortgage itself will be at $1,925. We're using a hypothetical of a condo fees of $330 per month. Property taxes $250 for a total of about $2,500 per month. That's less than what many people are paying in rent today. And that's going towards your future, not someone else's mortgage. All right, so we've talked about the programs, we've talked about a hypothetical sort of budget and so on, but let's talk about a couple of real world products that are available on the market today. I've been on this Mattamy Homes kick of late. I've put out a few videos on Mattamy Homes, one in Wateridge, and I just did a recent one on commercial real estate in Orleans. But we're going to use both of those as an example. The reason I like Wateridge from a first-time home buyer's perspective is a couple of things. One, its physical location. We're talking about Wateridge, which is close to the Aviation Parkway, the Rockcliffe Airport, off the Ottawa River, which is literally a 10-minute drive to the downtown core. And if that's not good enough, all of the outdoor options that it has right at your doorstep. So you've got all the running trails, the biking trails, the cross-country skiing in the winter. It's all available to you at Wateridge. And in this example, I'm going to flash up a couple of videos to show the product. This has a unit for $359,000. It's called the Britannia model at Mattamy Homes. The Britannia model is 2 levels, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, roughly about 1,000 square feet. So again, 2 levels, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, roughly 1,000 square feet. It's called the Britannia for $359,000. So when you wrap all of that together and you can get into the Britannia model, that would be great. And what I say all the time is, as first-time home buyers, if you have a family member or a really close friend or somebody that can be that roommate for you to offset some costs, that's a really cool option as well, because that particular person that would be renting from you would actually be saving money, because if that person was to rent by themselves, they're looking at roughly $1,600 per month, which would be the average rent here in Ottawa. But let's say they gave you $1,250. So they'd be saving some money, but you would also be using that money towards your mortgage payment. So your mortgage payment, roughly $2,500. Somebody else is paying half of that. You're building your equity while living in the downtown area at a 2-level place through Wateridge. So that's a super interesting option to consider. All right, so if that wasn't good enough, another option I'm going to present to you on the screen is, again, a Mattamy Homes, but in this example, it's in Orleans. Now, I've done a recent video on Locale, which is a commercial development, but watch that video because at least, again, it'll describe the area, the pros and the cons, the traffic flow, the densely populated area. It talks about all of that, and there's some huge advantages in the Orleans area. So there's that. But in this case, units are 1 bedroom and den. So if you're working from home and you need a little bit of an office space, that den can be that for you. But instead of paying $359,000 like you would at Wateridge, you're paying $329,000. So again, even less money. We'll do all the math as a first-time home buyer, you're 5% down, etc. You're getting in and building equity for the price of paying rent plus or minus just a little bit. So just have some serious thought about that particular unit. They have 1 bedroom and den. They have 2 bedrooms available as well. In this example, today, at time of recording, which is towards the end of June 2025, they have a 5 appliance voucher. They have 9-foot ceilings, of course. They have kitchen with quartz countertop and backsplash, smooth ceilings, etc. And the kicker here right now is 3 years with no condo fees. 3 years, no condo fees. I'll repeat it again. 3 years times $300 per month, $330 per month, that's $3,000, $4,000 per year. That's another $12,000 savings, roughly, on taking advantage of this particular opportunity today. So again, I've mentioned it before, this might be a really good time considering the landscape here in Ottawa. Some homes are sitting on the shelf. There's a little bit of angst and anxiety on the market today, but if you sniff around and you look at what's available and you talk to the builders, we can probably get deals for you that you're just not going to see last year or even next year. Like, this is a moment in time worth considering. So have a look at Mattamy Homes and reach out to me, because I'll be more than happy to take you through. It doesn't cost you anything to have a realtor like myself put through all the paperwork, walk you through all the options, make sure that you're leveraging all the programs. It does not cost you anything as a buyer getting into these particular homes. So I wanted to put that out to you today. I think it's important. First-time home buyers are stressed out. I hear it all the time. I hear it with my kids. They want to buy, they just don't know how. So let's walk through that step by step. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. I hope that this video was informative in some small way. If you know anyone, a family member or friend that is a first-time home buyer that's looking for just a little bit of help, feel free to forward this video over to them, and I'd be happy to help through Metro City Property Group. So again, I'm happy to help. I hope it was informative. Reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever, and let's take the time to walk through a few of these units, and let's see if Mattamy Homes options are worth considering. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Until the next video, take care, stay smart, stay invested. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. Now, whether you're planning a move or you're looking for the right investment here in Ottawa, I'm here to help you make a smart, confident real estate decision. And I work by referral, so my business depends on how well I serve you. And think about it, if you're not thrilled with the experience, you simply wouldn't recommend me. And that's why I go above and beyond to deliver the results that exceed expectations. So if that sounds like the kind of relationship you're looking for, give me a call. You've got my contact details. Let's schedule a quick call. No pressure, no obligations whatsoever. Let's talk about your next chapter, and I hope I can help, and we'll see you on the next one.